How's it going, y'all? Just starting a little bit. How's it going, y'all? Just starting a little bit. No, I haven't broadcasting. Haven't been able to broadcast for a couple of months. So I want to provide a little bit of, I will say, life update. And if you guys are interested, you guys can communicate with me in the live chat. Okay. So this will be about your wishes, your command, a little bit about health, and what I've learned the last few months. And let me know if you're here on the call, testing. Hey, Illuminati bot. You guys can go check out his channel. So great to have you on the call. And if you guys want to go check out Illuminati bot, you guys can go to his channel. You can just use the chat, and from there you will see over here. So it's posting a lot of content, and you guys can learn more about the world. Now today I'm just going to focus more on health, because I had quite a bit of a health setback the last few months. I'm still not recovered 100%, but I think it's important for me just to share what I've learned. And hopefully this could help some of you out there. Long story short, there was a big family event. I'm not going to get into it so much because I don't know if some of my other family members are watching this. Long story short, my health took a big dive and went to the hospital, and I had trouble breathing. I had something called peripheral neuropathy. I'm not sure if you guys know anything about that. A lot of pain and discomfort. I would just say overall a lot of anxiety, because you don't know what to expect moment to moment. And through that process, I definitely learned a lot about myself. And yeah, I even reached out to God, okay? Because before, I don't think I really honor God. And there was many years ago, I was attending a church in Texas. The reason why I attended that church is simply because I had many problems throughout my high school years. I would say from 15 to 22, those were extremely rough years for me. And there was a pastor at this church in Texas who prayed for me. And I received deliverance from many setbacks, many spiritual stuff. You could call spiritual attacks. And the last couple of months, you know, when this happened to me, especially back in December, when I had this health setback, I reached out back to him. I didn't know if he was going to answer. You know, I sent him a text message. And he actually got on a call with me, and he started to pray over me. So I'm very, very grateful for this gentleman. And if you guys are ever interested in, you know, pastors you can trust, you know, people that can pray for you, he may be somebody. Because when you're in a desperate time of need, you don't know who to reach for. You don't want to tell everybody, because a lot of people, they just respond in fear. And people are just thinking negative thoughts the whole time, and it's just a spiral downwards. In your times of need and desperation, you need people who are in faith, people who know how to pray, people who are believing. And that's what I had to go through. That was part of it. A lot of it, I would say I had to take full responsibility for this health setback, simply because much of my time I focus on the negative. Maybe it's in the background, and it's still gonna, when you're focusing on the negatives in the world, things are not going right, or things are not going right in the world or in your life. It is a seed that you plant, and you continue to plant those seeds, continue to water those seeds, and eventually your body is going to respond negatively. So there's a very important lesson in Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command, simply, hey, you got to take full responsibility for your life. Whatever is happening to you right now, you have somehow manifested it into your life with your thoughts and emotions, combination of both. So even though on the surface I may be presenting information that could be very helpful, I try to uplift those who come on my show. At the same time, there's much, I would say, tension underneath, below the surface, that most people don't realize. So I had to let go a lot of that tension, because if I don't let those things go, then it's going to manifest in another way. So emotions, your thoughts and emotions, they create your life. As a person thinks in his heart, so is he. And whatever that is, a physical problem, financial problem, relational problem, I have to take full responsibility. Okay. And I'm still trying to reverse engineer, not just from the spiritual and emotional side. I also had to focus on, okay, maybe there's something I just don't know, right? Peripheral neuropathy. All right, let's just imagine you have no rest. You cannot sleep because you're dealing with muscle spasms the whole time. You have tingling sensations all over your body. Sometimes it could be very painful. There's a lot of tension in the neck area. There is a lot of inflammation even in your brain. Moment to moment, you don't know if you're going to get a shock or a whiplash. It's a combination of all those things. And when you're under that much stress, you are never repairing yourself because you can't properly sleep. So this stuff becomes a vicious cycle. Okay. And I don't even know, other people will be watching this, so I don't want to scare them too much, because there are so many things that went wrong with my health the last couple of months. And I had to crawl out of it. Like moment to moment, you'll appreciate every single step that you can take, because I even had trouble walking. I couldn't walk just a couple of feet. I had to lay down. I was that messed up. Or I would get up on a chair and I will feel very, very dizzy. And if you guys know me, you know I haven't covered 100%. So I'm still recovering, but it's important for me to jump on this call and share with you guys what I've learned. Now, right now, my current findings, of course, when I share stuff like this, it's not professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a physician, other qualified health providers, with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Right now, my current findings is that, my little pet opinion, is candida overgrowth. Candida overgrowth. So candida, in its yeast form, yeast, is very, very benign, as long as you have this healthy microbiome. However, if you're under a lot of stress, or maybe you're on antibiotics, your microbiome, your gut flora, is completely messed up. The candida begins to take over. Now, this can show up in many, many different ways. There is a doctor, you guys want to check him out. He has a book on Amazon. His name is Dr. Jeffrey McCombs, McCombs. He has a website, I think it's called thecandidaplan.com. You guys want to just check him out, look him up, and learn more about candida. Because we all have candida. Candida is not just in your digestive system. It can also go out into your nervous system. It could be on your skin. It's just that when it's in a very, very aggressive state, it just begins to seemingly attack everything, because fungus is a decomposer. That's what they do. Okay? And if you're chronically inflamed, that fungus is going to go out there, try to decompose that thing. Just ask anyone who are growing mushrooms, or if you've ever done any type of gardening, you see a tree and you see a lot of mushrooms growing on the tree. You know that tree, there's something rotten, there's something sick about this tree. So you're not going to be able to get rid of the candida completely, but there are ways to help mitigate it. And the way how I've been learning it is you need to help de-escalate the situation and turn that fungus candida back into an yeast form. You need to strengthen your immune system so they can flush out, because it's always a constant battle, right? And over time, maybe you'll see some improvement and progress, because this stuff, you're going to have so many different problems, but you don't know what it is. Like, it's so many of them all at the same time. It's discomfort you never really experienced before. And go check out Dr. Jeffrey McCombs. Go to his website, candidaplan.com. Got his supplements. So one of the supplements that he uses is castor bean oil. And he also has another supplement for increasing your immune system. He also has another one for a probiotic. I think that would be the plan for the Candida plan. But you also want to learn what you can do on a regular basis to stop feeding the Candida. A lot of you don't sleep enough. Okay, you neglect the sleep. And when you're dealing with lack of sleep, your immune system's already taken a hit. A lot of you eat a lot of sugar, processed foods, and all those different foods, they are not on the list. He has a food list that you can use when you're trying to de-escalate this Candida. And there's another list where you cannot eat, at least for a couple of weeks, and over time, as your symptoms subside, they get better and better, then you can incorporate them back in. Today, I just wanted to reach out and see what you guys are up to. What's going on? Yo, what's going on, Eco Soy? Great to have you here. Yeah, I do look a little bit more. Well, my weight hasn't changed that much, but it's just I've been eating, yeah. So let me teach you guys, or not teach you guys, just share with you what I've learned and then stuff that I'm doing right now. So if you're dealing with a lot of nasal congestion, that could be a sign of Candida overgrowth as well. If you have a very thick white coating over your tongue, that could be another sign. When you're dealing with Candida overgrowth, you may have a lot of flaky skin or oily skin. You don't know what to deal with. Even though you shower regularly, it never seems to go away. It shows up in many different ways. Sometimes people, they have a lot of Candida overgrowth on the surface of their skin, on their hair starts to fall out, or they have these patches of skin on their head they have to get rid of. So you want to do some nasal clearing. There's a saline solutions that you can get very, very cheaply, and you can just rinse out your nose on a regular basis. Every single day, I first do something to improve my immune system. This would be IP6 Gold. You guys can go look that up. Then I start doing some lymphatic exercises. It's critically important you guys exercise, sweat, get into a sauna, take a bath, to really get the waste material through the surface of your skin. Next, you're going to do a little bit of humming. There are a lot of benefits to humming. You're going to do nasal clearing. Next would be foam roller and sunshine. Foam rolling, this would be helping out your back, your posture. Then I do another video. I watch another video on body posture, how I can improve my body posture, because everything is interconnected. Everything is connected. If you are not breathing right, it could be your posture. All right. Breathing exercises. So I've been doing, Google has one, it's the 5.5 seconds and 5.5. There's another one, Sudarshan Kriya. All right. Next, I do a little Bible reading. I do a lot of, I would say, forgiveness exercises, because it's hard for me to forgive and it's important for me to forgive. There are a lot of things I held on to because maybe I just feel I'm out of control, right? I'm out of control what's taking place in the world. Even though I'm sure information out there, it doesn't seem like I'm making any dent, making any progress with this. So that could be another source of frustration. And sometimes you gotta let go and let God. There's so much that only I can do, you can do, right? But you gotta let things go. At least that's what I've been learning, all right? And maybe there are people in your family, maybe your relatives or your ancestors, you don't have a great relationship with, and sometimes their thoughts, their or experiences you have with them, they start to taint your life, taint your emotional life, right? So I've been learning how to honor my parents, my grandparents. And what is honor? It's inspiring respect, esteem, renown, fame, okay? So it doesn't mean that you have to like them, but you still have to honor them. It's important for me to honor my parents. I don't know about you guys, regardless what they've done, what I haven't done. Then there's also another product called lipoic acid. This is the one that helps you calm down the nerves. I eat some food and I follow up another IP6 Gold. You guys can look up IP6 Gold. It's in a powder form. They also have pill forms for it. Of course, I take the castor bean oil supplement, because that's going to help mitigate the candida overgrowth. Next, I also learned a lot about tapping. I don't know if you guys know a lot about tapping techniques as outlined by Roger Callahan. And it's a series of things that you can do. He's been teaching it, I think, since the 60s or 70s. You got a couple of books on Amazon you can buy. Long story short, we all have a lot of trap emotions. Let's just say they're called energetic imprints. You can call them engrams, or you can say some emotional scarring that you have from the past. For some people, it could come from a movie, okay? They watched a movie when they were super young. They weren't even 10, 11 years old. But all of a sudden, they watch a super scary movie, and this kid cannot sleep for the rest of her life. Or they had a bad experience with the pool when they were young, and they experienced suffocation from drowning. So anytime they look at water or big body ocean of water, they're in fear, even though they're nowhere close to the water. We all have these energetic imprints or engrams to a certain degree. And there are ways to tap these things out of your body over time. I've been working with a coach on this, and I'm not saying I'm out of it, right? Because there's so much to work through, but I've made tremendous progress. So the tapping sequence first looks like this. You want to relax as much as you can. You want to first neutralize the tension, okay? So you are doing the circular motion around the chest. And over time, when you're ready, the sequence is you want to first tap on the side of the hands like this, about an 8 count. And then you're going to tap between the eyebrows, side of the eyes, underneath the eyes, under the nose, underneath your mouth, collarbones. Then you're going to tap the back, okay, just under your arms. Then you're going to do right underneath the rib cage. Then you're going to be tapping your fingers. And then this is called the gamut point, or the back of the hand. Do this for about 30 to 50. I'm just going through this very, very quickly. This is the Roger Callahan tapping technique. You guys can go find his resources online. And it looks ridiculous, right? And I didn't believe much of it before. But when you're so desperate to recover your health, to recover your mental health, you'll try many different things. I'm like, I'm just laying here in bed. I can't really move. I might as well just give this a try. That's what happened. And over time, things begin to surface, and I start to get rid of them one by one. You kind of wanted to dissipate them into the void, okay? And something you want to look into, yeah, there are people who teach TFT, right? So it's called thought field therapy. You want to go look up thought field therapy. Yeah, so sometimes people, they get bit by a dog, and any single time they see a very friendly, harmless puppy, something like that. And there are processes for these energies to release, because many of us, we live under this big pressure cooker. We continue to put a lot of stress on top of stress. So what happens is, let's just say you got chased by a dog, right? And you were traumatized by that one experience. And over time, if we don't get rid of this energetic imprint, it gets a little bit bigger every single time. You have another experience, maybe you see your neighbor's dog, and then you tense up, right? Even though that dog is on a leash or it's far away from another street, and this energy continues to grow. It's like layers and layers of an onion. The person you guys want to look up is Michael Grady. Michael Grady, he also has a YouTube channel, and he's the person I've been working with regarding this. And he's also part of the Global Information Network. And there's no magic formula. It's going to take hard work, dedication, just like anything else. As you guys know, you guys been on my channel, I work on personal health, right? If you want to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, it's not going to happen by chance. It's going to take years and years of hard work. Earlier, I was sharing about candida overgrowth, and I kind of text messaged another influencer in the space. His name is Adam, and he said to fix candida overgrowth, it's going to take months and months, at least, depending on the individual. And that's the trajectory you got to think. Never think, oh, I just need to do this thing one time and all my problems will just go away. That's the type of thing that the world tries to sell you all the time. Something, oh, you can get these great results without putting a lot of time and effort. So you get suckered in. You buy the course, you do it for however long, maybe for a week, and then you stop, right? So there are going to be a couple of things in my life that I'm going to be doing for example, the detox stuff that I've been teaching. It's not going to be, oh, I'm just going to do this every once in a while, when I feel like it. It's got to be a routine, right? What else have I been doing? All right, tapping exercises, right? One of the best things that we can do all day, every day, is to put yourself in a great emotional state. Positive feelings. Positive feelings. And it's very difficult these days because the dark occult, the parasitic elite, they want you to focus on the negative all the time. Because they know how the world works. They know how manifestation works. They want you to suffer while they continue to have a great life because they're always in a great state. They're always happy. So you need to do, and I need to do whatever it takes to put myself in a great state. And that could be gratitude. You can be grateful and make that a very, very deep practice. The things that you already have right now in your life, you can be grateful for. And on the surface, when you start doing this type of exercise, you're like, man, doesn't seem to get me very, very far, right? But it's just like any skill, it's like a muscle that you can develop over time. What else did I read? I wrote a book, and I didn't write a book. I read a book by Anita Moorjani. She had a NDE, which is a near-death experience. She came back, and then she learned about the experience that she had from the other side. And when she came back, one of the things that she learned was she always tried to do everything for everybody else, but she never did anything for herself because she never saw her self-worth. When you don't see your self-worth, for an extended period of time, your body will break down. When you don't honor things that you want to do, where you say things that you're going to do, or you hit a certain milestone, and you say, when I hit this milestone, I'm going to treat myself something meaningful for myself. But what most people do, they do something, they achieve that milestone, then they push it out. They say, oh, until the next one. But anytime people call you and be like, hey, I need something here, you rush out to fulfill that request. That means many of us, we're people pleasers. We're just basically living life to please people around us. And that is not the way to live. And I had to learn that because I definitely had that for myself. Something that I've been practicing is laughter yoga. You can call it laughter therapy. You guys can look up. His name is Robert Rivest. And what it is you don't need a reason to laugh. You don't always need to have a comedian on YouTube to make you laugh. You can practice laughing right now. And it seems very awkward, right? But if you believe your survival depends on laughter, you'll laugh. Yes, I did. And I continue to do. And that would be another thing that I did. Something you want to look into is Andrew Wave, Acts of Kindness. You guys can type that into YouTube, Andrew Wave. I'm pretty sure he's a Latvian guy, and he's also the red carpet guy. I'm sure many of you have seen his videos on Instagram. He rolls out the red carpet and see people walk across. Now, he had other videos on random acts of kindness where he would pretend that he had shaking arms, that he couldn't really hold a dish, he couldn't really put his food to his own mouth, and to see how the restaurant would respond in that situation. Now, some people that were making fun of him, or some people were even taking a photo of him. I don't care if that video was staged, but when you watch these type of videos, acts of kindness, some of them, they're going to make you cry. And I think it's important for a lot of us men because we hold emotions in. And many of us, we've been taught men don't cry. Okay. That is a pressure cooker that is down there. And eventually it's going to explode into something else in the least opportune moment. What else did I do? Definitely listen to a lot of your wishes for command, or just lessons from Kevin Trudeau. And he's always focused on the spiritual side of things, because many people are only focused on the physical. Now, this branding, you might see it as branding as like, oh, he's always talking about money and things like that. But if you dig in deeper, if you really read Guru Kev, if you really read The Science of Personal Mastery, if you really follow through and look at all the content that he wrote, he wants people to focus on creating a very, very fulfilling inner life already. And what does that look like? I wrote a couple of things down. You want to read? Okay. So I want to be someone, or I'm the kind of person, the type of person, this is what I'm shooting for, who is bathing or permeating in inner joy, peace, happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, contentment, acceptance, ecstasy, bliss, a sense of total certainty, confidence, knowingness, absolute understanding, harmony, equanimity, the feeling of being totally and completely loved without exception, without condition. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm there, but every single day, I need to wake up with that intention. It's like, regardless what my goals are, if I achieve them or don't achieve them, okay, the inner state, that is running the show. I want to be anchored in these positive emotions. I'm the kind of person who is continually in a state of wholeness. I love the word wholeness, all right? And I want to be someone who smiles and remains relaxed in all circumstances, right? And I want to be somebody who feels vibrantly healthy at all times. These are some of the things. It's before I would just be focused on the physical. Okay, why haven't I achieved this goal? I'm very, very upset. How come I'm underperforming? And maybe some of you, you're feeling that as well. And right now I'm just regearing everything. I'd rather focus on my inner state, working on my inner state, and let that be the driver of everything else that I do. Another major lesson that I learned the last couple of weeks is the importance of detachment. Detachment is simply, hey, you don't want to be holding on to things. We're just custodians of the things that we have right now, including our physical body, including the money that we have, right? And I'm not saying those things aren't important, but I think it's important for us to always come back to be very detached to the outcome. Being very, very detached. Like, whatever happens, you just tell yourself it's going to be okay, right? Something good, something bad. And many people, they withhold those positive feelings. They say, until I complete this task, I will not feel good about myself. And you do that year over year, year over year, year over year. That stuff is going to eat you up alive. Your physical health, your mental health. And before you know it, God forbid, I don't want anything bad happening to y'all. I don't know who's watching this. Where's everybody from? Yo, what's going on, Julian? Our good friend from Nova Scotia. Yeah, my brother actually met him several times. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him. Yeah. There's a lot of things, all right, so these are some of the notes that I wrote down for myself. I don't know what about y'all. It's like, so new beginnings, right? Before, it was all just financial goals. And if I didn't hit them, I'll be upset at myself. Right now, I wrote down things like, hey, daily gratitude, certainty, detachment, loving toward my soul, okay? There's a scripture in the Bible, it says love God, and also it says love your neighbor as yourself. And everyone assumes that they know how to love themselves. Incorrect. I do not believe that is true. On the surface, people may think that they love themselves, but what does that really mean? Right? People say, well, I always do everything, could be very, very selfish, but I do that for myself. But you want to really deep dive, what is the undercurrent behind all that? What is the undercurrent emotions behind all that? Loving toward my soul. What if you have a setback? What if you have a financial setback? What if you have a health setback? Right? Those are the tough times. I had to learn to put a smile on my face, even though there was a lot of discomfort. and maybe I can only keep that smile on for a few seconds. Those are the times that I was really, really challenged to be like, hey, I'm not going to wait until my circumstances line up, right? Because the real challenge is, even in your time of difficult circumstances, can you be loving toward your soul? Loving for your soul, even the past mistakes that you had in the past, that we all made mistakes, right? Can you learn about different techniques to release these energetic imprints that I shared with you before, such as maybe traumas that you had? I had many of them, because I was in that swimming pool and I almost drowned. I was in a swimming class actually, and I definitely did not want to get into the pool. And all those things were stacked up over time. I'm very thankful because that coach kept me in the pool and that held me over, because I just wanted to go home. But there are many other examples where I had a huge setback, could be an emotional, relational, and I would just suppress it. And any single time a similar situation would come up and a similar feel, I will push it away, right? Or it will be another layer to the one that I already had. So there's so many things. There's so many things about ourselves. I want to learn how to respond with a smile, with wholeness. What else would I want to do? Connecting with God within, all right? I want to see everyone as loving and kind. When you see everyone as loving and kind, that's how you see yourself. Really, I mean, it's a hard lesson for me, because every single time in the past, you know, I was the guy that would judge a book by its cover. I mean, I've been around a lot of top performers in my life. And when you're around top performers all the time, I don't care if it's in business, aesthetics, or athletics, whatever, people making crazy amounts of money, and you think that if other people, they're not within the circle, right, they're not measuring up, and that's not the right way to look at life, you know, because when you're around those circles and everybody's all about money, and then looking at their Shopify accounts or looking at their crypto accounts, seeing a lot of commas. Do you guys understand? All I gotta say is that's the norm in those circles. But right now, what I've gone through the last couple of months, it really reset me, you know, because I'm just another regular guy. Next, we want to continue to play a movie in our head of good things happening. All right, having inner joy, peace, equanimity, and bliss, no matter what the outside circumstances are. Okay, also bathing myself, permeating myself in wholeness. Not just the physical stuff, but the spiritual. All right. What else do I want? Or what else am I want to express, right? And also a big lesson that I had to learn was, hey, it's not my job to fix other people. Like, I have a lot to share, right? But it's okay if nobody takes any of my advice. That's another key to detachment. You want to be detached to the outcome. You want to empower yourself. You want to make yourself strong, right? So you can help yourself, help your family. You want to stay connected to your center. And simply allow your presence to inspire other people. And that's from Anita Morjani's book, Loving Your Soul, all right? Because if you have some type of attachment to an outcome, it's like maybe I'm coaching people and then they don't take any of the stuff that I share seriously, then some people, they get upset. I got upset before. Right now, I just detach from all that. Detachment. And here's another quote from Kevin Trudeau. If you follow the path of love and forgiveness, which will lead to bliss and give you all the material things that you desire. So, things that Kevin always goes back to, it's not just the physical stuff. It's the love and forgiveness now you need to do for yourself and for other people. What else we have? And these are lifelong lessons, right? And sometimes there are certain things in the past where a setback and it still stings you any single time you think about it. Well, there are ways to release that energy that you don't have to hold on to this pressure cooker. Many years ago, I was in LA and then I worked with a guy, his name is Mark Dama, and he has something called the 3-chair exercise, and that helped me release a lot of tension with some family members. You guys want to be looking into that if you're ever interested. What else do we have? Before you start praying for yourself, you want to pray for the health, prosperity, and peace of others. That's another powerful lesson. Before you just start opening your mouth in prayer and asking God for things, pray for other people's health. Whatever you want to receive, you gotta first give. So whatever people who are struggling in health, you ask God to go heal them. Okay. People who are looking for financial breakthrough, you ask God to provide them. People who are looking for peace in their life, you ask God to provide them with peace. So I've been praying wrong for a long time because usually I just keep on telling God what I want, but I always miss this important piece, which, hey, whatever you sow, that you shall also reap, right? So you got to first give. What else did I learn the last couple of weeks? Whatever puts yourself in a great state. I've been listening to a lot of music. It could be calm Italian music, and you are watching these walking tours. They're in 4K now. They're amazing. You can watch and tour Venice, you can go to Amalfi, you can go to Rome, and people are just walking around with their cameras, and you can see the beautiful sights. Put yourself in a great state. Because what the dark occult or parasitic elite, they want to always keep you in a very negative state, where if something positive has been presented to you, you can't even see it. That's what they want. They know they're planting these seeds inside your mind, inside your heart. So you're going to continue to get a harvest of setbacks. Like it's going to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But they're just suggesting into your subconscious mind. Is this not making sense for y'all? Yeah. I haven't read the Holy Quran, but I have a lot of respect for people who practice, Islam, people who practice Buddhism, Taoism. I mean, I have friends from all across. I mean, in religious wars, right? The dark occult wants to keep everybody in a religious war because it's very profitable for them. It's very, very profitable. But they'll never be on the battlefield. They'll send your kids there. So that's why it's important for us to detach. Okay? And don't feed into that monster. Don't give your energy into it. Well, that's my own personal take. You guys can do whatever you want. Okay. So prayer, we start with being thankful, appreciative, and grateful. The first foundation. Okay, next we pray that other people be healed, that other people be prospered, other people feel peace. You know where I got this from? I got this from Kevin Trudeau. This is what they taught him. And then, after you pray for other people, you forgive people, releasing all judgments and resentment from your heart. Okay. So natural law of transgression, let me talk about that real quick. So most people, they're just focused on, okay, people think that they're a good person, right? So they're like, I'm not out there murdering anybody. I don't assault. I don't rape anybody. I don't steal. I don't trespass on people's properties. I don't coerce people. You know, you guys can go read the 10 Commandments. I don't give false testimony. Honor your father and mother. Now, many people, they keep a lot of judgment and resentment in their hearts. So you guys can go look up Matthew 7 and Luke chapter 6. The reason why Jesus spoke against judging other people, because this stuff will eat you alive from the inside. And right now, I take every opportunity to just releasing all judgment, releasing all resentment, okay? Have control over the things I have control over, and asking God to bless me in a way that benefits everyone involved, all right? Provide what is best right for me in the best way possible. I trust the timing and the method. Learn to give generously, right? So doesn't matter how much I have coming in, I always tend to give a little bit more, you know. There was a couple of days I stayed at the hotel and I just do my best, you know, because I know it's hard working at a hotel. I don't care if it's from the maintenance, working at the bar, you know, I do my best to remember their names and tip them well, as best as I possibly can. Okay. Give generously. It's not just about money. It's about giving of your time, giving of your attention, helping people with kindness. And part of the secret is we want to be doing it cheerfully, not just through the actions, not just, oh, I did some acts of kindness and I want to broadcast it all over on my Instagram so the whole world will know, right? I don't think that's the right way. So there's another book that I read. Oh, there's so many of them. The last couple of weeks has been very, very challenging for me. I'm very grateful for the experience. I continue to make some improvements with my own personal health. Because before, I would not be able to talk to you guys. Just a couple of weeks ago. Without going into details, it was... Yeah, so every moment, I know it's hard to believe, but every moment that we have is a gift. And before, I would just hear things like this, and then it's a cliche, right? Oh yeah, every moment that we have is a gift. Cherish every moment. And right now, I have a deeper understanding. I'm sure there's another layer to all of this that I'm learning right now, and I can better myself and better those around me. So we covered a lot of content today. I don't know if this is making sense for y'all. We covered, all right, peripheral neuropathy. We covered candida overgrowth. We covered the importance of proper sleep. And some of you are reliant on coffee. I don't recommend it because coffee, at the end of the day, is a stimulant, is a vasoconstrictor, and it's going to keep you in a very, very tense state. And we're trying to relax. I'm trying to relax anyway. And I'll show you guys some pictures. So you guys know I've been doing liver cleanses, right? Liver cleanse is something that you do to flush out the intrahepatic stones from the liver and also gallstones from the gallbladder. So let me just put on some slides and I'll share with some recent photos. But And I don't even know if I'll be teaching this in the future. I really don't know. Because right now everything is wide open. I'm like, God, if you want me to continue to teach this, I'll do it. But if you don't want me to do this, I'm okay with it as well. And that's part of detachment. Sometimes we are so stressed about, okay, I must do this, right? Sometimes you gotta let go and let God and be like, you know what? I don't have to do any of this and I'll be okay. So you have the liver, the largest internal organ that you have. Gallbladder, this is where bile is stored. And if you are not improving the condition of your liver, it's going to go down different stages of liver damage. And as I shared many times before, this is the book that I read, The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush. I had so much discomfort, I wasn't able to do it. But the window was so small and I was being prompted in my heart to do it. Anyway, these are some of the recent photos. So I think this is back in end of January. Okay. That stone right there, I'm pretty sure it came out of the liver. So when you're congested in the liver, this is my thinking. This is my little pet theory. All right. So candida, in its aggressive form, it turns into a fungus. Now the body is going to do what's best to get this waste material out, the excess fungus. But everything's going to go through the liver. Everything's going to go through the liver, and the liver is going to pick it up as waste. You see the liver right here? You have intrahepatic ducts, and it could be very, very congested with all sorts of stuff. And you're going to feel a lot of discomfort because that waste material is going to drip into the duodenum, and the small intestine is going to reabsorb. I know I may be speaking over, but I just want you guys to really learn about your internal organs and how you can upgrade them over time. And these are projects. That's not going to be like a weekend thing that you do and you're going to be okay. Maybe some of you, you're going to be okay if you have a very healthy liver. But if you've been holding on to a lot of inner tension, as I did, you may have a lot more congestion because everything is energy, right? You can't destroy energy, but it can transform from one form to another. So the anger, resentment that you had, I think the word is turbid. Qi. And that's going to cause a lot of, I would say, congestion, blockages, not just inside the liver, but also everywhere else. I've made a lot of improvements because the last couple of weeks I've been doing a lot of liver cleanses, and now they're coming out a lot smaller. They're not massive like this. That one right there with the arrow, I would say it's going to be about 1 inch. And people may not believe, this stuff whatsoever. And that's perfectly fine. So, oh yeah, you guys want to get the free program? Let me know if you guys have any questions. I already covered a lot of content about what happened the last couple of months. I've been away from YouTube. I could not broadcast. I was very, very sick, but I'm very grateful now. I have a little bit more steam under my feet, and I learned a lot more about health, but also my internal state. But let me just drop some links you guys can go check out. So the link you guys want to look into, I'll put it in. You guys can use that, and the coupon code has been changed to YWFREE. So you guys can get this program completely for free. The program is called Your Wish is Your Command. It's an audio, I would say, stream. But if you know how to work technology, then you know how to download it. So let me know where you guys are coming in from, and maybe I should stay for a few minutes and I'll just bounce. So the book that I read was this one right here. Everything Candida Diet book. So he's got recipes in here, and you guys will be shocked if you really take the time to read this book, how dangerous Candida can become. I just don't think many people are aware of Candida overgrowth. So here are just some of the things that could happen, including chronic diseases. Okay, diabetes, diarrhea, eczema, endometriosis, excess mucus, fibromyalgia, flatulence, fluid retention, food allergies, food cravings, frequent colds, frequent infections, fungal infections, gastritis, genital rashes, gluten intolerance, gluten allergy, headaches, heartburn, hormonal imbalances, hypoglycemia, hypothyroidism. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know. I don't have a lot of people on the channel. I mean, he usually when he gets on podcasts, they usually have a pretty big following. Who knows? Yeah, anything could happen, right? So when you are dealing with Candida overgrowth, you could be dealing with immune system dysfunction, impotence, indigestion, infertility, irregular menstruation, itchy skin, joint pain, lack of mental clarity, leaky gut, increased permeability of the intestinal wall, lethargy, lupus, memory problems, meningitis, migraines, mood swings, multiple sclerosis, muscle spasms, nail fungus, osteoarthritis, penile itching, PMS, poor memory, prostatitis, rashes, rectal itching. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. If you just look in the mirror and look at your tongue, do you have a very, very thick white coating over the tongue? Many people, they do. And I think the term is turbid chi. Turbid chi. Heavy, stagnant, impure energy that has failed to descend or metabolize properly, causing dampness, phlegm, and digestive issues. That's the definition, turbid chi. And when you are dealing with candida overgrowth, that could be one of the factors. And this stuff, people have you chasing because people don't really understand it, right? So you are trying to fix nasal congestion, you're doing all the sprays and stuff, but the nasal congestion comes back. Or you get a relief for a couple of hours. And the more of those medications that you take, your health just continues to spiral downwards. So continue to learn. I'm not a doctor. None of this professional medical advice. I'm just sharing with you that candida overgrowth, you want to be looking into it. Okay? The Everything Candida Diet book by Jeffrey McCombs, and his website is candidaplan.com. You guys can hit him up, contact him if you have any questions, or go to his YouTube. He doesn't post very often, but he has great information. He has a customer support. And you don't want to have this mentality, you want to go to war with candida. You want to simply mitigate it. So, do you guys have any questions for me? Alright guys, I'm just gonna end this broadcast here. Thank you all for jumping on. Appreciate you. And just reach out to me with any questions. I may not get to it right away just based on my energy levels. Sometimes, I just don't have the energy to do it. But things are looking brighter and brighter. And if you guys have any questions, be happy to do what I can, So I have an Instagram, The Real John Chow. That's a great question. You know what? I should just... Who knows? You know what? I'm gonna entertain that. They have a support. I can probably hit them up on their support and see they'll be interested in another interview. Alright, y'all. Thanks so much for jumping on. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, the week ahead. Bless all of you, just whatever you're looking for right now. Maybe you're looking for some type of a health breakthrough. I pray that you get that health breakthrough. If you're looking for a financial breakthrough, I pray that you get the financial breakthrough. For those of you looking for peace, I pray that you get peace into your life. Okay? So thanks so much. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.